Call of Duty, hyping myself for the new one next week. Bro, I'm stoked. We are going to be playing Call of Duty at least one stream. I've been itching to play some Call of Duty, my guy. I've been itching. You know that itch you get for certain games? We all get it for RuneScape. It's an inherent feeling deep inside of you. You can feel it in your bones, like I need to play this game. I've been having that for Call of Duty. It must be almost November. I can tell which season it's going to be, depending on which game I want to play. No, I am excited, though. I think that's going to be a fun game. I mean, every Call of Duty I've played since Black Ops 2 that's released, I always get super hyped for it, play it for a week, and then I don't like it anymore, and I'm like, why did I buy this? Why did I get sucked in again? But it's not going to happen this time, right? That won't happen this time, dude. It's going to be different. I know it is. Waydots is about to carry us in search? Bro, I will straight up carry your ass. 100%. Modern Warfare Remake I liked, but Cold War just isn't for me, so I'm excited for the new one. I didn't love the Modern Warfare Remake, which may be a bad idea for me going to play this one, but I don't know. I actually didn't love it. I had some fun with it. I played it for about a week, like I said, and then I was like, I don't know. But is it in a week it comes out? I've never actually played a Call of Duty with a mouse and keyboard, so it'll be a bit of a different experience for me. I've always played Call of Duty on controller. Now, I mean, there is the chance that I end up hooking up a controller to my computer and just playing with a controller because that's what I'm used to. But I am trying to pick up the mouse and keyboard ways. I am trying to get better at it, so we'll see. I loved MW3 Infected. I didn't mind MW3. It wasn't my favorite, though. The true greatest of all time Call of Duty for me will always be Modern Warfare 2. That was the most fun I've ever had playing a shooter game in my life, and I've been chasing that dragon ever since, and I haven't been able to find it. Getting a nuke in MW2 and then moving on to trick shotting and things like that, it was a total era. It was amazing. I played that game. There was like 5 more Call of Duty releases since that game came out, and I was still playing MW2 with my friends. Like, I played that game for literally years. I don't think any game since Modern Warfare 2 has done sniping as well either. I don't know why the fuck we can't make a game that's about sniping or does good quickscoping. I know, and people say, oh, there was good quickscoping in MW3. No, there fucking wasn't, dude. Not when the standard is MW2. MW2 had the best quickscoping of any game, and I have not found a game that can replicate that since, in my opinion. Because quickscoping isn't sniping, that is true, for sure. But quickscoping is the most fun I've had playing a video game. Strong skill-based matchmaking is a very common problem too. Yeah, people complain about skill-based matchmaking a lot. I don't know. I think skill-based matchmaking is required to an extent in games, but I think when it's enforced too heavily, then it becomes a problem. I think there's a healthy level of skill-based matchmaking where you're not throwing a brand new player into a game against, you know, someone with hundreds or even thousands of hours. I think that's okay, right? But at the same time, I don't think we need these super high-end pro lobbies where the top 0.001% comes out as a winner, but the other top 1% players just feel bad because they are good at the game, but I don't know, it's weird. There's a huge problem with that in Apex as well. And like, there's fun in pug stomping, right? Like, you want to have it so that at least every once in a while, your 100 hours you've invested allows you to feel better than other players. You don't want to always have to go against people that are slightly better than you. It's fun to just, go 20-0 in a game. That's part of what made Call of Duty so fun. But they say it's not good for new players. That's why it needs to have a very healthy level of it. It can't be too much. God, gaming's gone so goddamn in the wrong direction sometimes, man. There's so many things that make me so mad when I look at the gaming industry. I didn't even realize it, but skill-based matchmaking, that's straight up monetization practices and skill-based matchmaking. Let's get into it, dude. I'm pissed off. Yeah, it does suck, though. I'm cool with skill-based matchmaking if the game is ranked. I think if you have a ranked mode, then maybe, yeah, you shouldn't have skill-based matchmaking in the normal game. Like, if you have a ranked mode, then what's the point of having SBMM in the normal game? The problem is they have all this data, this algorithmic data, that suggests that skill-based matchmaking makes people play their game for longer. I'd love to see the data, I'd love to understand how they came to that conclusion, but that is what they see from new player data. And there's nothing you can do to change that, right? All of their studies point to the direction that people play their game more and play it longer when skill-based matchmaking exists. But the thing is, I think it caters to brand new players and absolute casuals, and then maybe the highest of the highest players, but it misses out the vast majority of average people playing the game. And I think it screws over your average player. Yeah, it caters to the highest level of performers and the lowest level. If we're being totally honest, I'm going to blame the necessity of SBMM on streaming. Too many wannabe pros pub stomping to an egregious degree. Generally, if a company makes a decision, that decision is to make money. And generally, gaming companies make the most money by keeping you playing the game the longest. So actually, I would disagree with that, because having pros, wannabe pros even, pub stomping to an egregious degree on a platform is free advertising, and that's going to be more people playing your game. So I don't think it has anything to do with streamers, to be honest. And every streamer I watch that's playing any first-person shooter is usually complaining about SBMM. But they're not complaining about it because... Like, they're not complaining about it necessarily because they want to be just pub stomping the whole time. I mean, some people definitely do that, but you see even pros in the pro scene complaining about it who don't even play in public matches, right? They don't think it's good for the long-term health of the game. I think the disconnect between games and game developers is that game developers or game developing companies look at short-term results, and people who play games can look at the bigger picture. But companies will always look at shorter-term results because that's going to be where they see their profits returned to investors, right? So very, very few game developers look at the bigger picture, and that's where the disconnect comes between gamers and developers and where these ideas don't work. Most arguments against SBMM mostly boil down to I want to play against people worse than me. I don't think so. I've never really heard an argument like that. That's a horrible argument. Why would anybody make that argument? I've never heard someone make that argument, and I think that's a bad argument. I think skill-based matchmaking caters to the best of the best. You know, the top 0.001% of players, because they're going to pub stomp anyway. And I think it caters to the lowest of the lowest. People who are logging into the game for the first time because they're trying to hook in those new players. But I think someone who, you know, plays, let's say, 20 hours of Call of Duty a week, they're pretty good at the game, but they're not amazing. They don't get to have that old school enjoyable experience of, you know, playing against some players that are worse than them or playing against players that are better than them or having a mix of that. Because what skill-based matchmaking generally does is it consistently puts you at people who are just slightly a little bit better than you. That's how it's been in most games. And the problem with that is you just never, like, yeah, you're slowly getting better, but it gets rid of that feeling of progression, that feeling of getting better, which I think is essential to any video game. You'd be surprised Dead by Daylight has a lot of streamers who make that exact argument, and it's horrid. That's a stupid fucking argument. To just say that you want to play against worse players is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. I mean, I guess you could kind of boil it down to that being a solution, but I also don't want to only play against people who are worse than me. I want a mixed bag. You know what I mean? Just like I don't want to play against people who are only better than me, I don't want to also play against people who are only worse than me. Both of those scenarios are not fun. That's like the idea there.